All right. Hey, welcome back to Couple Minutes. I'm Ian.
And I'm Celeste.
For those that are tuning in for the first time, the purpose of our show is to provide a couple's perspective of how we walk out our faith.
And our struggles.
Right. Absolutely. And so for today, we'll be discussing...
Like my Abba.
Absolutely. The one in which we should emulate.
The only one.
Absolutely.
That's right. And so, a few months ago, we were discussing something. Mm-hmm. And it really hit me that our relationship, with our Father is supposed to be like our relationship with our Father. And I couldn't figure out why mine wasn't working. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big revelation for me to realize that when you speak to people, not everybody has the same upbringing. Not everybody has the same familiar relationships.
Yes.
When they're brought up and stuff, some people have dads that abandoned them, that abused them, that 3 and 4 dads because there were different people in the house or in their mom's life. Mm-hmm. And so if I go and discuss somebody or with them and I tell them that, our Father is so great, he's so wonderful, he takes care of all your needs, and they've already shut me out because I said it was like a father.
Right, that they have never experienced in
that
a true loving way. Right. So when we understand when a person, as like when you mentioned with yourself,
right,
because of that history, there is a damaged concept of what a father figure should look like.
Right. And
so for like yourself, it took you had to, one, become aware of it, and then you prayed to overcome that process.
I'm still having to adjust my head. No, that it's this.
That he's not like that.
Right,
he's
right,
not
right.
like that.
Right. This is what it's supposed to be. It's the textbook in theory, the perfect father, not what necessarily that we grew up with. And so that's just a different way of thinking. And one, ourselves wondering why our walk may not feel right, but mm-hmm. 2, when we're sharing the joy of what some of it's the fruits of some of it, we may be tuning people, or they may be tuning us out because it's not connecting. They're not seeing the relationship of the Father. And so that's something we need to really understand too. And then the same thing with it's a marriage, where the bride, well, you might be abused by your spouse. You might be, something like that.
So then when you say the fact that we are the bride of Christ, the bride of Messiah, that might have that aspect where they're going, wait a second, I came from an abusive relationship and my husband left me, and so there's a negative connotation. So it becomes that process. We need to be aware of the individuals we're speaking with. We need to understand there might be that process. And so what we learned in that when we were talking about being like our Abba is that when we explain to people, one of the greatest characteristics of love that he shows us, whether you're following in the Tanakh or the Brit Hadashah, mm-hmm. Or the full canonized Bible, our Abba is consistent.
Oh, never
all
changes.
All the way through. Absolutely.
Malachi 3:6. Right.
Absolutely.
So never ever changes. And so that is something in our personal lives, a lot of us haven't had that consistency. And so, even going to the different churches and everything else, you don't see a lot of consistency, although there's just one Bible, where it's teaching from the same. That's what it is. He tells us continually. He does not change. So that's who we should want to be like. That's who we should relearn what that relationship looks like.
Right.
And
strive to emulate our Abba. Mm-hmm. Because he absolutely is consistent in his standards and his precepts and his judgments and his commandments. All those things he's so consistent in because it shows true biblical love.
Right.
So strive to be like your Abba.
Right.
So we hope you found this edifying and it's encouraged you as you continue to walk out your faith as a living sacrifice unto the Most High. So on behalf of CIAN Truth Ministries and Couple Minutes, Yah willing, we'll see you again. Shalom.
Shalom.